within Tzu Chi, I think that really shows through our service. And I see our organization not as a faith-based organization necessarily, but rather a service organization. That's what it is to me. And so we are able to inspire people to help those in need. And I think that's really beautiful about faith-based organizations.
This is a podcast called Walk, Talk, Listen. An attempt to connect people and make this world a bit better by sharing opinions and experiences based on the belief that everyone's perspective is true, albeit partial. My name is Maurice Blom, and I would like to welcome you to yet another episode of Walk, Talk, Listen. Good day, everybody. This is another episode of the podcast Walk, Talk, Listen, and we are still here live from New York during the 69th session of the Commission on the Status of Women. This year we mark 30 years since the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, a landmark commitment to gender equality and the empowerment of women. As we reflect on 3 decades of progress, we also recognize the increasing challenges facing women's rights globally. Resistance to gender equality is growing, unfortunately, in many spaces, political, social, and even within faith communities, and that makes the work of CSW 69 more critical than ever. Yeah, I have another, actually more than one. I have 2 guests sitting in front of me who will introduce themselves. And Nina, please, maybe you start.
Hi, my name is Nina Wu. I am a high school senior based in Los Angeles, but now I'm here in New York for CSW 68. This is my 3rd time at CSW. I went to CSW 67, 68, and now 69. And I'm a representative of the Buddhist Tzu Chi Foundation, which is a humanitarian NGO that's working on the SDGs on the sidelines of the UN.
Great. And for the listeners who are, following every episode, Nina was also part of conversations last year. So, but you brought a new friend. So, yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eunice. I'm from Malaysia, but I moved to the US 2 years ago. I currently based in Detroit, Michigan. I serve as a volunteer at Buddhist Tzu Chi Foundation for the past 10 years in Malaysia and now in the US. I'm excited to be here to participate in the CSW and to share with all of you about my journey in this organization. And at the same time, also excited to learn more from the other organization as well.
Okay. Apa kabar, Eunice? Kabar baik?
Kabar baik.
Yeah. Senang di sini.
Senang. Wow.
Malaysian?
Yeah, that's Malay language.
I asked her if she feels comfortable here and how she's doing. So, my first question is to you, and you decide, who will reply first. What motivated you to attend the CSW 69, and what are you hoping to achieve, especially, because there is a lot going on in the political climate as well?
So this is my 2nd time in New York City. So I still remember the last time when I was in New York City was last year, September. Mm-hmm. So I was the youth representative for Tzu Chi as well, attending the Climate Week. So it was a really eye-opening experience for me at that time. And I enjoyed it a lot, and I learned a lot from my team members and also from the other organization as well. So it inspired me to want to come again this time. And also, at the same time, I would say what motivates me to come to CSW, not just coming to CSW, but continuously motivates me as the founder of my organization. Okay, so a little bit of introduction about the organization that I'm volunteering in. Mm-hmm. So Buddhist Tzu Chi Foundation was founded in 1966 and is founded by a Buddhist nun named Dharma Master Cheng Yen. So so we are a women-founded, women-led humanitarian organization. Mm-hmm. So what do we do? From the word Tzu Chi, Tzu means compassion and Chi means relief. So our mission is to relieve this suffering to those in need, and also we want to try to create a better world with true compassion and love. At the same time, we also try to advocate for the SDG with our 4 mission and 8 footprints. So so my point is like what I'm trying to say is like being in this organization for throughout the years, and seeing the work by the founder and also by a lot of the volunteers in the organization. It motivates me to want to come to this space as a youth to share the great work that the volunteers have been doing, and to raise our voices and to let more people to get to know about our organization.
Nina, thanks, Eunice. And Nina, is that similar to you, what Eunice just said? And then what I also am interested in, do you feel that as, a representative or somebody that is younger, that you really have the opportunity to speak here during this week than others?
I think it's both yes and no. Because yesterday, or maybe the day before, I attended a session where we were talking about the future of CSW and what needs to be done to make it more accessible for people who might not have the opportunities to come here in person and contribute the way that we are contributing right now. And there was a young activist. She was 13 years old. And what she said was, it's very difficult for young people to be in the space because of things like registration, right? And I've actually experienced that myself, and I really relate to it because I'm 18 right now, but last year I was 17, the year before I was 16, and as I enter more and more into the space, I'm looking for opportunities to expand my knowledge, to expand the ways that I can contribute in this space. But that has been really hard because many of these opportunities are for people who are over 18, have master's degrees, have been, a lot of experience, and that's a requirement for many of things that I've looked at. And so I think that makes the space sort of inaccessible for youth. But at the same time, I do believe that with what you have, you can really take it in any direction, right? What I mean by that is my first time at CSW, quite honestly, I was very shy. I wasn't very knowledgeable about the space. So I didn't talk to many people. I didn't form any connections. But this is my third CSW, so I think a lot has changed since then. And this year, I'm hoping to not only talk to more people, but to build on my connections and actually use it to drive action. And so it's the same opportunity, the same conference, and the way that I'm approaching it is much different. So I do believe that youth can have a voice by taking what they have around them and just using it to their fullest potential.
Thanks for that. What I'm interested also to understand more about Tzu Chi Foundation is, Eunice, you mentioned, okay, it's a women-founded foundation, and then, you are representing the foundation as a youth representative. So 2 questions around that. One is do you think the foundation is really, how different is your foundation, that you are part of, because it's women-led or women-founded, than with other institutions that you have come across? And then the other question is, within the foundation itself, do you have also a voice, or is it there also challenging to speak out as a youth representative?
Okay, I'll answer the first question. I think it goes back to our history, like how we first started. Like our foundation first started with 30 housewives. So the founder, Master Cheng Yen, actually tried to encourage people around her, which are this group of women, housewives, to try to save 2 pennies every day. And the money that they save will be able to help people. So that's how we first started our charity mission. And this is a really impactful, I would say, because like back in the days, like even women as housewives, they are able to contribute, and the money that they collected actually reach out to so many more people. And as the year went by, and now we are now a global NGO, and to see this history itself, like it's just amazed to know like how women can have the power to change the world. And now as for us, the youth, we can go into spaces like in the CSW, and we can share these histories with more people.
Okay, thanks. Nina, can you try to address then the question around, do you feel that you have a voice within the foundation as a youth representative, as a younger person?
I think because we are faith-based and women-led, that the values that we show within our community gets reflected, and it creates a really warm environment. I think our volunteers are very welcome to everyone, and if anyone comes into our space, such as the Tzu Chi Center up north, if you want a warm meal, if you want a cup of coffee, the volunteers will gladly make something for you. They'll feed you, they'll give you a space to rest and to find your own community there. And I think also because our team here at the UN, the Global Partnership and Youth Development Department has a really big stress on youth involvement. And so a lot of our delegates here at CSW are young people. So we have many people under 35, and we do that at every conference. And because of that, a lot of our mentors have gone through what I'm going through, and they know what it's like to be new in this space. And so I'm really able to learn from the people on my own team and to grow together. And sometime down the line, maybe I'll be the one mentoring the new people. And so I do think that we have a voice in our community. Yes.
Okay, thanks. I mean, both of you mentioned, so you're part of this faith-based organization. What role do you see faith-based organization playing in both advancing and defending gender equality, especially, when it seems that a lot of rights at the moment are under attack, being criticized that you should not work on this, and what is the special role that faith-based organization are playing within this?
Yeah, we do believe that all faith-based organization at its core, it's our common language is love. So and in Tzu Chi, it means our love and our care to all sentient beings. And also another one is also we believe in putting those vision into actions and what we hope to achieve, and we want to extend the love and care within us to more people around us, not just by words, but also we are putting them into action.
Okay.
Yeah, building on what Eunice said, there's many faith-based organizations in this space, and especially in such a diverse community. There's Christians, there's Buddhists, there's other religions, but I think we may believe different things, we may practice it differently, but at the end of the day, our core values are the same, right? So it's love and compassion, and that gets reflected in our daily lives, and it's just channeled differently based on our religion. And so within Tzu Chi, I think that really shows through our service. And I see our organization not as a faith-based organization necessarily, but rather a service organization. That's what it is to me. And so we are able to inspire people, to help those in need. And I think that's really beautiful about faith-based organizations and the values that they uphold.
Okay.
Yeah, I can add a little bit on that. I think another important thing is that how all different faith-based organizations, when we work together as a team, and I believe that is also when we work together, it becomes a very big power, and we can all create changes.
Okay. Outside those attacks on rights, and there is also a lot of issue around inclusion. And my question to you is, what strategies or alliances do you think are most effective in countering these challenges in terms of you should not talk about inclusion, for example? Who wants to take that one? Both of you?
Yeah, we can take. Yeah. So strategies in encountering all of this, we believe the power in the community. Mm-hmm. So we have like volunteers all around the world, and we believe by empowering the community from the grassroots levels and to recognize their effort in their volunteering efforts, and eventually we will be able to, with our actions, and we will eventually be able, our voices will be heard.
I think we can model the result that we want in our daily lives and through our lived experiences. Especially at CSW, with so many women in this space, men might feel excluded sometimes, and we need to show the public that it's not really prioritizing one gender over the other, but rather where anyone flourishing is a win for everyone. And so we need to move away from that zero-sum game where if one person gains more rights, another person loses some rights. We need to shift away from that kind of society.
Yeah, I just want to mention, like, a lot of times we talk a lot about how do we do things and strategies and stuff like that. But actually, a lot of issues, we would say, actually it all comes from within our heart. Like how when we want to solve an issue, it's actually about like how do we change the attitude of people, and how do we in Tzu Chi we say how do we purify people's heart, because I truly believe in education and also how we can change people's mindset, and it is another way to counter like all of the challenges that we face nowadays.
Mm-hmm. And maybe the first step within that is trying to really connect with others. And that's what I hope my podcast is contributing to. Also, we are connecting. I connect you with the listeners. And I also would like to connect you with the previous guest. And the previous guest has a question for you. Here we go.
If I gave you a magic bullet that you could use to address one of the 12 areas of critical concern, how would you use it, and why did you choose that area?
And before I ask you to tackle that, I mean, I know but the listeners are maybe not all aware of what the 12 areas are that are outlined in the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. So there are 12. The first one is women and poverty. The second is education and training. Then there is women and health, number 3. Violence against women, number 4. Women and armed conflict, number 5. Women and the economy, 6. Women in power and decision making, 7. Institutional mechanisms for the advancement of women, that's 8. Human rights of women, 9. Women and the media, 10. Women and the environment, 11. And the girl child, number 12.
Okay, thank you very much for the question from the previous guest. I will rephrase this question a little bit because we advocate for peace, so we don't use bullets. So maybe the other way for me to put this would be a magic wand to this 12 critical areas. So as a healthcare professional, so my focus is definitely on women and health. Like how we're going to, especially, like I would say, especially on the mental health. Yeah, we believe in taking care of the women and girls to safeguard their health, not just in hospital setting and also outside of hospital setting. And a lot of other different communities that we are trying to reach out to, and to really go into the community outside of hospital to, protect their rights, and we want to take care of them, not just physically and also mentally. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I really like this question. And for me, I would say women in education. Yesterday, I attended a panel where they were talking about ways to advocate for the culture of peace intergenerationally. And so one of the panelists talked about education in young girls, young boys, and by educating the younger generation about the culture of peace and what we want in the future, we're able to see that rippling effect in not only the older generations, but also in the world 100 years down the line. We're able to see the effects of today in the future by just educating the younger generations and having that ripple through our society.
These conversations always go fast. I still have one question for you. And I know you know what I'm talking about, but I have to explain it to the listeners. Eunice, you have in front of you 3 duckies. So I put them there to tell you, the listeners, a story about Ernie from Sesame Street, who wanted one day to learn how to play the saxophone. But he, as you might know, Ernie always walks around with his ducky in his hands. He doesn't let go of it. So when he tries to play the saxophone, a shrieky sound comes out. So his band members are saying, Ernie, really, if you really want to learn how to play the saxophone well, you need to put the ducky down. Then you can really learn. So my question to the both of you is, what is your ducky? What do you need to put down in order to grow further, or, work on something that you want to work on or aspire?
Yeah, I can start first. So I would say, as a young representative of the organization, I'm in this process of learning. So I want to learn how to be I want to learn how to, like, in this space, how can I speak for my organization, and also I want to learn how to be a leader, I would say. So in this process of learning, and at the same time learning from the more senior ones from the other organization as well. So in this learning process, I would say I will have to be more brave, and to increase my self-confidence more, and the fear of coming to the podcast today as well, to have to speak to the public and networking with people. This is kind of a challenge for me, because I'm an introvert, and I am an introvert, but I'm grateful, because in this space I get to, because I know that I have that interest in me, and I know that I want to connect with more people to share about the wonderful work and all of that. So it is sort of like a dilemma in myself, but I know that it is something that I really want to learn to overcome, to achieve what I myself, I envision myself, and also what my organization also hopes to reach to more people. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
I completely agree with Eunice. I've been where she is, and I completely understand everything that she's going through. But I do think that, by forcing us into uncomfortable spaces, we're able to grow and become better people, and I really like that. But for my ducky, I would say I should be more honest to myself. I think as a person, I'm very honest to everyone around me. I'm able to analyze what's going on and point out what needs to grow, what needs to be better. But for myself, I think because my heart's so tied in with my head, that I sometimes lie to myself and pretend that, something's not going on when it actually is. And so I think I need to let go of the dishonesty I have to myself, and to truly be able to see the world clearly as I do towards other people's worlds.
Wow. No, thank you both for sharing that. And yeah, that's quite a ducky. So thanks for sharing that. And what I'm actually in my house, I have many duckies. So and even beside my bed, so every morning when I wake up, I look at the ducky and I'm reminded in terms of we are all continuously work in progress. So so I think if we all continue to work on that, then things will go better ultimately. I'm totally convinced about that. So I would like to thank you for today's conversation. But before I do that, I almost had forgotten it. What is your question for the next guest?
I think one question that's revolving around CSW is how can we take what we're hearing at this conference and bring it back to our daily lives, bring it back to the communities we have back home? And so my question is, how do you practice gender equality in your daily life, right? We can't just talk about it here and then leave it in this conference room. We need to take it out and take it with us wherever we go. So how do you practice gender equality in your own life?
Okay.
I think that's a good one already.
Okay.
Or can we just have one?
Yeah, no, sure. I mean, the next guest will be happy because then he or she only needs to answer one instead of two questions. So, yeah, cool. Thank you so much. Is there anything that I should have asked that I didn't?
I don't think so. Thank you so much for having us here.
Yeah, thank you very much. And good luck with the rest of the week and safe travels home later. And thank you for who you are and what you do.
Thank you for having us, Maurice.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for listening to Walk, Talk, Listen. Please check us out on 100mile.org or follow us on Facebook or Instagram.